The journey towards self-care, just like we associate fitness with youth, we should associate self-care with becoming more wise or aging. In this way, the prerequisite to self-care is very much experience or value of experience. So the people that generally come to self-care, it is a conclusion. It's not just a process of life. It is something that you come to. In this way, there are three major ways that people come to this conclusion. Some may come to it by the way of emotional standpoint. So they realize that everything around them is so turbulent, and the only way that they're going to create the stability that they want is through their own actions. They must have a handle on it, they must be able to get to the bottom of it, and thus they come to the conclusion of self-care. Mentally, they'll also come to this conclusion. So many things around me have fallen apart. There's something that is always sabotaging my efforts, or always kind of getting rid of the things that I care about the most. And the only way to solve this issue is to work on my impact on this issue. They come to the conclusion of the value of self-care. Also, physically, we can have the same expression or conclusion. We can see that if we do not do something about the way that we're living, the way that we're kind of moving through our life, we'll continue down the path that we're currently headed. And this, we know, is not where we want to go. And physically, things have been taken away from us in ways of expressing ourselves or interacting with life, and we want it back. And we want to put action to that initiative. And thus, we come to the conclusion of self-care. Now, this is where things start. We have all, in these separate ways, come to the understanding that we must put our health first. And the only way to appropriately do this is through self-action. Now that we've come to this conclusion, there is more to it. We must have a big change. This change is not to get rid of our past experiences, because that's the very thing that's going to give us the direction in which we need to go. We want to put these in the right categories, put the right value to the experiences, so that we're working off of a very solid framework. And in this reorganization, we come to understand ourselves greater and the path that we need to take for our own health. We can say that each path is going to be individual and different, but it will always bring about more balance to the person, more freedom of mind, more freedom of body, and more expression of life. This is an absolute must, because we are taking it from a standpoint of working with ourselves in life and appreciating how that's going to play out. No matter where we go, we'll always be us. So the more that we become more in depth with seeing our balances of how to take care of us, of what to ask from others for us, of how to communicate our perspectives in a way of improving other things for those around us and for our being ourselves, then we can truly start to pursue health. This is not possible if we don't have the experience first, however. And in this way, we can see that just deciding to do self-care actions is not the whole thing. That is self-care in name alone, and not in action, and not in purpose. So this bringing together of all our experience in a way of balancing how we're going to pursue our own path to health is definitely the way of self-care. And in this way, guidance is needed. You must see things from an outside perspective, and the best way to do so is from somebody who has experience in those perspectives, and in the way of taking what we want mentally, what we envision in our minds of being our ideal outcome, and bringing that into the real life. What actions are really going to bring about this change? How are we going to have to change or let go or move forward to bring these thoughts, these feelings into reality? And this is really the purpose of self-care, is putting all those things together in a way of fulfilling health from the inside outward.